All right, folks, we are getting ready for this Tuesday at 7. We're doing the creative or interviews with creatives. And today, Neil Zaza and I are going to spend some time together and talk. And we're glad that you're able to join in. And we're going to make this a little bit interactive as well. But it is Tuesday. We're here in Northeast Ohio.
Yes.
And you're an Ohio guy, right?
Ohio guy, born and raised in Macedonia, Ohio. So I always say it's Akron. People always say it's Cleveland, but I always say I'm more from Akron than anything else. But
yeah. And you have you always lived in Cleveland, Neil?
I've always lived here. There was a time or two where when I was a younger man, I wanted to get out and go to LA and make it, because that back in the day, if you didn't go to LA, and of course I air quote, and make it, there was the only place you could make it was Los Angeles. But I ended up never moving to Los Angeles, and I just kind of felt like this was the best place for me to do what I needed to do, and it's always been my home base.
Yeah. First of all, I want to thank you, Neil, for joining us tonight. We've got folks who are jumping in. You guys know this is a non-produced Susan Daniels.
Hey,
You're
Susan.
with us.
What's up?
And John Gepperth, Linda Biggs. How are you doing? This is a Tuesday at 7. We're starting a series probably the next 4 or 5 weeks, and we're going to kind of sit down, learn, interview, hear the stories of some creative people. We decided to start big, right? And we're Neil Zaza.
I don't know about that, but we're here, so.
Yeah, so Neil and I, we had the chance to meet a little bit over a year ago. Yeah. We worked on a common project. And so, as a matter of fact, we were out at breakfast a handful of weeks ago.
Yeah.
We started talking, and I realized some of his story was as fascinating as his music. So that's what kind of prompted these next several weeks. So this week we'll spend some time with Neil. The next few weeks we're going to be with sculptors, artists. We're still putting that together. Next week is already set up, but I'm not going to announce that just yet. But so when you hang out with a friend, I mean, I've never been online and said Neil Zaza, what to search. But what I did is I jumped on and I just looked at Neil Zaza. And the first thing that popped up was Wikipedia.
Which is always outdated.
Always outdated.
Always outdated. I don't know where they get that photo either, but yeah.
So I went to Wikipedia, and Wikipedia says this. Neil Zaza is an instrumental guitarist who has become well known for his technical accuracy, adaptation of classical works by Bach and Mozart, and adaptation of classical works of Bach and Mozart into his own blend of neoclassical melodic guitar instrumentals.
Man, that's a sentence there, Roger. That's something.
What have they missed here?
I guess they got the general facts right. They got my name right, and then I play guitar, and I do classical adaptations of various classical pieces, and so basically the general facts are correct with me. It's always hard to boil it down into like an elevator pitch in a bio, right?
Yeah.
It's always difficult. So I would just say it's pretty much right on, but you have to hear the music. You have to see the actual output of what we do, whether, like you were saying, you're a sculptor or painter or a musician, a guitar player, a composer, whatever it is you are creative at. That's where you really learn what the person's about. So
yeah. So if you had a boil, who is this?
This is Poppy.
Poppy?
This is my girl Poppy. So she could, like Dr. Evil, $1 million. Okay, no.
Cat lover?
Cat lover. I'm a cat guy.
Do you have a dog? Do you have any dogs?
No, because I travel so much and we are never home, and it would never work. But I'm a cat guy. I like the zen of cats.
Yeah.
I like the issue that, like, you have to win their trust. It's not just like blind alpha that they're just following you. Like, we had to earn her trust, and So I'm a cat guy more than a dog guy, for sure.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm a dog guy, but I like this one.
And I love
cat.
Bowie. Bowie is the one, so.
Yeah. So there's going to be some time I'm going to we'll ask if anybody who's watching live wants to ask a question or not. But so guys, kind of sit back. I'll ask, and then we'll kind of jump in.
Yeah.
And I'm going to just kind of throw some stuff out in our conversation. We're going to go out in some different directions. Yeah. But so I'm going to start with a real important question here, and that is, have all the greatest songs already been written?
It's such a great philosophical question because, there's only 12 notes. How many ways can you rearrange that, right? I would say no, simply because think of, let's say it's 1899. Let's say it's 1942, whatever it is. And all the songs that were written past that point. Let's say 1975, what was written? If you're 1974 and say, well, this is it. This is this is the most that we could get out of these 12 notes. And then you come upon some songs after that are just mind-blowing. So I would say no, because it's all about how people individually craft those notes and what they do with the notes, and obviously the order and the dynamic and all that stuff. And at a certain point, it ceases to be notes, and then it's self-expression. So just as many people that there are in the world, that's how many songs we could have, as form of self-expression. So I would say that was a long way around saying no. I think we still have a long way to go.
Yeah. That just kind of popped in my mind. But one of the reasons is that you return to some great music.
Yeah.
And so talk about kind of you're writing and creating, but you're also returning and reinventing some things. How did that come about?
So for me, just talking about the creative process, like everyone can function and create in different atmospheres, and some people maybe thrive in chaos, and they can create whatever they're doing in a chaotic environment, or some people need 72-degree Perrier water, and whatever it is, there's always an optimum thing. So for me, in general, creating, I have to release my mind from what's going on. So could anyone sit down and write 5 songs tonight? Yes. It's songs are just combinations of chords in different combinations. But to really write something good, you really do have to go inside and you have to pull out some good stuff, So for me, the creative process is always about unhinging my mind and putting it over here and getting into the zone, as it's known, and just you're kind of fishing. You don't know if you have it today, and that's always sometimes very frustrating. Is today the day that I'll record something good or I'll write something? You don't know, but you're in the zone. You're just kind of in this bubble, and all of a sudden things just start to flow. And once I'm in the flow, that's when things start rolling. So,
describe it. So I think is this one of your creative spaces here?
Yeah. This is the room at the place, and so I've made it as I don't know what you want to say, just as comfortable as you can. I think a creative environment for me has to have a lot of ambiance to it. Like, I don't want to feel like I'm going to the doctor's office with like stark white walls and cold, or I like stuff around, and I like a warm feel to it. So that's what we did here, is hanging some tapestry and some stuff I like around me, so I can sit and I can relax, and I can just not focus on the work, whether I'm recording or writing or arranging or whatever it is, but just kind of flow into it. And I know it sounds all esoteric about, I just want to flow into it, but I really do,
I think that's why, I think that's probably why we find a lot in common, and probably why a lot of folks out here are like, oh, I get that. I'm not a musician.
Right.
but I understand the flow. When I start to write, sometimes
Right.
it even becomes a subconscious where it just starts to go, and
Right.
once it's moving, you just continue to write.
Right.
Same thing with drawing. I mean, there's times where, and for me, it's later at night. It's like post 11,
Okay.
so like
Right.
p.m. and so like 11 to 12, and then sometimes 12 to 1 or 2 a.m.
Right.
I think it's maybe I just lose inhibitions, and I don't really care whether I make a mistake. I just
Right.
continue to do it,
Right.
and it works out well. So creative space is important for me. It looks like it's important for you. What about like timing, motivations? Is there anything that kind of aligns for you?
As crazy as it is to say, being a musician, and the stereotypical musician is, get up at 1 p.m. and go to bed at 5 or whatever. My best work is really done in the morning. I get up. My schedule now, I'll get up around, try to get up 7:30. I try, go for a bike ride, and then come in, and I'm fresh and I'm alert and I'm awake. For me, I don't. If I'm dulled out by being tired, or it's sometimes at night, I'm a little hazy or something, it doesn't work for me. I'll tell you what does work for me is being on the road. So, when I think all of us were home, we're dealing with this or that, or I got to pay the bill, or I gotta run to the mall, I gotta go to Target, or there's all this interference in our brain, Yeah. And when I'm on the road, that doesn't exist. What exists to me is sound checking the show and what time do we leave in the morning. So my brain is a lot clearer when I'm on the road. So most of the stuff I write, where I actually sit and write, is done in hotel rooms. And even though I do have a nice space here, most of the time, most of my records were written in hotel rooms, because after the gig, you come back, it's quiet. The toilet paper now has a triangle at the end of it, which I always laugh about. So at that point, now it's time to, I'm in a different state of mind now. Now I want to create. Now I want to create something. So
what's the appropriate word? So is it records or discs, discography? Well, I mean, what do you, as a,
such a good question.
I mean, what do we call these now? Collections?
I still say record, but record to me means a collection of songs, not like that it's on vinyl or CD. I'll say a CD, but really, it's I say a record, but it'll be a collection of songs.
Collection of songs.
Yeah.
How many would you, looking back, how many would you say that you've been involved with records, collections?
Records? You mean that I've recorded on or
Mhm.
whatever? I don't know. For me, I probably I've lost track, 15, 16 records, somewhere along there. And then I've recorded on, I want to say countless, because I don't know the number, but that's what we do. That's like, you're a musician. If I'm a musician, I'm always recording on things, playing on things, interacting, collaborating with different people. So that's what keeps us fresh, is that constant new stimulus, that new excitement, a new project. Nothing sparks my creativity more than a new project. Oh, we're gonna do something new. What are we gonna do? Oh, now it gets it going. Like, oh, we could do this. Oh yeah, and then it goes from there. So
yeah.
Because we've done that together.
Yeah.
With One Dark Night. So
we there was a lot of creativity that was pulled together for that theatrical show. I mean, it was awesome. And okay, so we talked about environments. Take us back, if you would. So take us back to, would you have considered yourself a creative kid? What was the spark? Do you have any of those first stories to say, this is when I realized I was blessed with creativity or whatever, and then this is how you found yourself on the on-ramp to music?
I have to tell you, I have a disappointing answer for that, considering the series you're doing now is The Creatives. The initial spark for me was always and has been, I love music. Music has always touched me. It's always inspired me. I feel moved when I hear music, good music, something that I like. But how I got into it is really more of a story of what a young geeky kid does to adapt to surroundings. So I was skinny, scrawny, not especially good looking, not athletic. I wasn't on the academic, high end team. So I found that my equalizer, or my way to adapt or to socialize, or it was like the golden ticket that got me into everything, was playing the guitar. So I loved the guitar, I loved music, I loved all that, but it was really my adaptation mechanism that it got me through high school, junior high school. It got me through college, and then I realized, like, A, I really enjoy this. B, there's nothing else I want to do besides play music and play guitar. And then at a certain point, when you're in high school, what are you going to do with your life? What are you going to do? Do you know what you... And no one knows what they're going to do with their life at 18, right? So I just... For me, I always followed what I preach now, which is, find something you love to do and you'll never work a day in your life. So for me, it's always been about, this feels right to me and this is what I love to do. So, but I didn't start out... I wasn't so creative that I had to do this or that. It's just, it was more out of necessity. So,
tell us about your first guitar.
First guitar, it was the very, very first one was a Stella. It was called a Stella acoustic, a little piece of crap, But it was my very first one. And then my first electric was it was called a Cortez Custom. It was a Les Paul ripoff. It was this cream colored, looked like the Les Paul Lindsey Buckingham had it in Fleetwood Mac at the time. And I was hooked, man. That was it. I was, there's epiphany moments in your life. Like I remember the first time I plugged my guitar into an amp at a buddy's house and cranked the amp, and you hit that chord, and it's just like this nuclear wave of volume, and you feel your pants move, and you're like, and the ground shakes, and you're like, holy crap, like this is what, like, amazing, So, and then the other epiphany I had was when I heard the first Van Halen record. I remember we were driving in a car with my friend's brother, and we're in the back seat, and he put on the first Van Halen, and that was Running with the Devil. So and I tell the story all the time, but when I heard and that tone, like it was alive, I still feel it even when I describe it. Like, it spoke to me, and from that point on, I never wanted to do anything else but play guitar. Like, that was literally the first chord of Running with the Devil was life-changing to me. So, yeah.
That's an awesome story. You can distill it all the way back to that chord.
Yeah, like, listen, I was playing guitar, and I played at church, and all what I said before was true, but when I heard the first Van Halen record, now my life was changed. Now I had a goal. Now it's I don't want to do anything else. This is it. I would go to school, and I would read Guitar Player magazine. I'd come home. I would play guitar. I would, my whole life centered around it from that point on, and to this day,
So 15 plus collections. Eddie Van Halen. What other creative influences? I mean, if you were to take a look and just say, music or whatever, anybody else?
I can't say, it's interesting because, like, a lot of people, a lot of creatives will, maybe they see a piece of art, or they have a conversation, and it might influence them in what they do. But I have to say, I'm more I'm more creative from an internal standpoint than from an external stimulus. So I draw on. I go fishing. That's really what I do. And then if I come across something that I like, that I think, I love that progression, then I have something. So it's more internal fishing. I wish I had a better term for you.
I get it.
Then like, I saw a beautiful sky tonight, and I just had to come in and I had to write this song to represent what I saw. I don't function that way, but a lot of people do, and it works for them. So,
it seems every single time that we talk or we meet or I see you out online or in photos, you have a different T-shirt on. You have an awesome collection of T-shirts. I mean, so what is it that? So do you just collect them? Do you have a collection? How many T-shirts would you say?
No, the joke is, being a musician, we're not doing this to get paid. We're doing this for the T-shirt, man. So I just I collect the shirt, and that they are drawn to me, and then I have a closet full of hey, can we thin the herd a little bit, but we visited Ghoul Brothers, you and I, and it was such a great place. And in fact, I bought this shirt. I bought this one because I love this shirt so much. So, it's part of the booty we get in our career, which is, the treasure. So
yeah, I'm not sure if the artist chooses the T-shirt, or the T-shirt chooses the artist. I'm not sure, but
exactly.
I love the collection. So of course I don't just Google my friends, and so I hadn't checked out Neil Zaza, but I noticed that I'm All Right out on YouTube has and even just a couple posts or a couple videos has like 5 million views.
It's crazy.
Well, give us just a quick.
Well, now that's an interesting story, I think, because there is no story in that. I was writing the record it initially is on. It's called Sing, and it was the first tune I wrote for the record. I went out of town, as I was saying. I went to Springfield, Missouri. My buddy had a guy that had a studio there, so I was kind of holed up in my buddy's back room, his video editing room, and I like I always say, I kind of isolate, and then I get in my zone. I'm just writing, and it was the first. I hadn't written anything for the record. Do I still have it? Can I write another song? Can I do another record? I want to, but do I have the juice still? Because you never know. As an artist, you don't know. So I came up with this progression and the thing, and I called it "I'm All Right" because I'm all right. I can do another one. I got it. I'm all right. I always said I should have called it "Sing," but and that was it. I thought it was a decent song, and put it on the record, and that was it. And then my first time over to Asia, I played South Korea, this Busan International Rock Festival, and I walk on stage. I've never been there. I knew the record was released out there. I walk out, and it's like 17,000 people. I was one of the headliners, and I'm all right, and like everyone knows the music, And then after the show, I'm signing the autographs, and I'm pushing them on the table, and they have like "I'm All Right" ringtones, and what? So that song has taken on a life that I would have never imagined. Like I thought it was a good little ditty, but I didn't see it as doing anything spectacular, but people seem to love it. So I always internally smile every night I start it, and Asia especially, and I'm like, man, I'm glad I wrote that tune, because it's done me well over there.
So in 2019, this year, you've already been to Asia, right?
Many times.
Yeah. So what's why Asia? Do you think that they're appreciating that
it's crazy? It's the culture's different there. It's quickly changing it's quickly getting westernized. You know, when I started going to China in 2001, I think it was, very different China than now, but they do appreciate music, and they appreciate songs and the skill level and technique it takes. They're very comprehensive in what they listen for and everything. You know, U.S. You know, I'll play, you know, wherever, and it's you know, some bars are, you know, 5 guys out there. Oh, I could do better. You know, he sucks. You know, so it's a very different comprehension of the music. You know, here in the United States, if you're an instrumental guitar player, it's probably dudes coming to check you out so they could think that they play better than you. But over there, it's guys and girls, young and old. They're into the music. You know, yeah, there's the guitar musos, I say, or the geeks that are interested in the technique of things. But like it's a whole different mindset, and we don't have that mindset in the United States anymore. We really, really don't. It's, you know, now it's, I don't know, beats and whatever, you know.
You toured Asia and Europe so far this year?
Yeah.
How was that European tour?
Europe is great. I love Europe. I love all parts of Europe. I love the food, the architecture. It's you know, here's the thing. I feel fortunate because my art, what I create, it allows me to live a life, to see things that I would never see if I was, you know, like I thought I wanted to be an architect when I was younger. So if I was an architect, I probably would not have had the life experience that I have had and still do touring and stuff, because it comes with part of the territory. So Europe's fantastic. Italy's great. You know, obviously this is Europe. I love it. It's great.
So Asia, Europe, you're going back to Asia, and then
so I do just the latest I'll go back to China in September. I come back a week before One Dark Night. We'll have some quick rehearsals, do that, and then I will go to Europe for a month starting in January. So, you know,
that's the next
living the dream, baby.
Yeah, 5-6 months of your busy
right.
life. Tell us about One Dark Night.
Well, you are part of that story. You know that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Just the elevator pitch. One Dark Night is a rock orchestral program. I took some Gothic classical music. We got string arrangements for it by David Kempers, and I did rock heavy versions of this. But we put it into a production where there's a storyline throughout. It's telling a story, and we're using a lot of classic Hollywood monsters, and we're telling the story that while these are monsters that we know and love, Frankenstein, Dracula, Nosferatu, maybe those are not the real monsters. Maybe those are projections of what's inside of us. Maybe left to our own accord, we, the humans, are the real monsters. You know, and we have a pretty crazy track record as humans of what we do when that monster gets out, you know. But it's a fantastic production, and you guys, I have to throw it back, really brought it to life for us. It gave us the visual element that I just, there's no way I could have comprehended that. You know, we met, Teresa introduced us, and we were off to the races with, you know, bringing the look of the show, and that was fantastic.
Yeah,
Beth, it was great.
And this year, there's an additional fusion creative component, which to me feels like kind of the first time maybe peanut butter and chocolate,
right,
together for a great combination. Verb Ballet, and I saw one song done on stage here this summer, and it was pretty amazing. Unexpected, and I think you had a lot of probably an audience who may have been raised or have family members that are in ballet, and all of a sudden they see you up on stage and you're adding a flavor that they have probably never seen.
It's interesting though, because to be honest, I can't say that I was a big dance fan or a ballet fan. Do you want to go to ballet? No, but when dance is such a liquid thing in that, just like music, there's good and bad dance, there's good and bad music. It's what you do with that tool. And Verb really did amazing work with this Adagio Reimagined. But so they're going to be involved in a few different tunes for One Dark Night. And I'm really excited because it's going to bring an even heavier element to the show. I mean, I know what we're thinking and what we have planned, and it's not like this tutu on spinning around. Like it's some heavy stuff, and I'm really excited to bring that to the show this year, because One Dark Night I want it to be a sensory overload, a cornucopia of macabre, of I want people to walk out and go, wow, that's crazy, that's awesome. If they're just talking about, oh, the guitar playing was great, I failed. The show failed. It should be more. The guitar is just one element of it. It's about so much more. And we have Tim Ripper Owens, who used to be in Judas Priest. He's going to be singing, so it's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait. And we still have to figure out what creative endeavors you guys are going to be bringing to it. So I'm excited for that.
That's the show's Akron Civic Center.
Akron Civic on October 19th.
Akron Civic Theater on October 19th. Yeah. And that's a Saturday, right?
That's right.
You know what? I'm going to lean in and I'm going to take a look at
let's do it.
Some questions here. As you guys know, this is not heavily rehearsed, whatever.
I can hold Poppy.
Yeah. So I see that we got a whole bunch of people on here, and a lot of folks still on. I see Craig. He was in the show last year. He was one of those shadows. We've got a bunch of Teresa Rose is watching.
Teresa Rose. From the other room?
I think so. We've got a lot of great folks here. But if you guys have any questions, shoot them on now. We'll kind of answer those out. While you guys are shooting out some questions, we have a couple CDs that we're going to. If you share out this video, just hit the share button, and then just put a response and go shared. What we'll do is we're gonna give away a couple of these One Dark Nights. Not tonight because I know that not everybody's gonna be watching it live, but in the next week or so we're gonna go ahead and give these out, and I'll send them to you. So and I'll even probably choose the names online as well.
That's all you.
Yeah. So. If you're interested, and I know that a lot of people are watching online stuff, but I like to have CDs because I like to put them off on the side. My Toyota still has a CD player, so we're going to be giving away a couple of these. In the meantime, so if I'm All Right has really probably captured the attention of viewers, right? Because everybody just keep watching it. Yeah. Of your own work, what would you say are? I mean, it's like you're choosing a child over another. I understand it's hard, but what are some of the works that you're 2, 3 single pieces that you're especially proud of?
I have to say, if I think of the collective or the album, one of my favorites still is 212. I did a record called 212. I think that's a great one. I'm really proud of Dark Knight. I like them all though. I could go down the list and I find something I like. There's things in my discography that I wish I never did. Or like I wish they would drop off. And only to never be discovered again. But it's funny how that never works. Like everything you do lives forever. So I guess one suggestion I would make to anyone is please like what you do and what you release, because it never goes away, So
as that is, I mean, that's a great point. So for creative newcomers, whether it's guitar or painting or sculpting or special effects or theater or illustration, whatever it is. I know that you shared with me over breakfast. You said, here's a couple things that separate those that I think are destined for success and people who aren't. But what are some of the things that you'd say, these are the things to attend to if you consider yourself creative and you want to succeed in your field?
Well, they say, bedroom geniuses are a dime a dozen. Everyone has a great idea. Everyone, the geniuses run amok with us, and a lot of times these day and age, everyone misuses that word, so, overuses that word. I think in the end, the most important thing is that you're a self-starter. No one has to tell me to get up here and start to work. No one has to say, you probably want to get up and you want to, get to work, or you should probably write a song, or you should, what are you going to do next? How I'm wired, and as I found out, you're wired too, we're wired the same way. It's always going, so it's up to us to perpetuate the art. Whatever we're going to create, we have to do it. So, in fact, it's more stressful for me to not be working than to be working. I always get, my family well, let's just take a weekend off, and let's take a weekend off. I'll be miserable because now I'm out of my element. Now I'm away, not working. And when I say work, I mean making music or doing something to do with what I do. Now I'm miserable because now I'm somewhere where I can't do something, and I'm vibrating inside, and my mind is all rattling around inside. So you have to be a self-starter. No one's going to do it for you. No one's going to do it for you. So
I think creatives create.
Yeah.
And if you don't, there's some discomfort because things are out of balance. I imagine there's a bunch of people who can relate to that as well. And so I guess we're probably gonna wrap up now. So 2019 has been a whirlwind. Is there anything in 2020 that? And I know, if I call Neil, you're often on the move. Anything that you can share on the horizon?
And I you hate to, the biggest thing I've ever done is coming up, but the biggest thing I've ever done is coming up. It's we opened the door with One Dark Night, and we're still, the second year, we're fleshing out what it is, and it's getting bigger, but I have this project coming up next year. We'll debut it in December of 2020 at Akron Civic. That is the biggest thing I've ever done, and we were gonna debut it this year, but we couldn't pull all the pieces together. So know that even as I'm working on One Dark Night, now my brain is split. Now I'm doing double duty. In fact, here it is right here, but you can't see it. So December 2020, it's going to be something. So.
This is cool. Is this can you play something? I'm not talking about from what's upcoming, something from One Dark Night. Do you have anything? And I didn't even let you know that I was going to ask a question.
No. I don't have anything. I don't have the OneDrive. This is this upcoming project. But so this is I'll just explain. This is my space. We have, I have a dual screen set up, and I have, all my interfaces over here, and nice relaxing here. I don't know if you guys could see. I do all my triggering here.
I'm gonna pick this up. We'll go handheld for just a little bit.
And my bowl of cereal down there that I just had before the interview, so I don't sugar low. But yeah, so this is all, like the triggering and playing and stuff. But this is where everything is. My interface is over here, and this is my zone. This is my triangle, and this is where it all happens. And if you want to get the...
Oh, yeah, you've got...
all the stuff on the scene.
Oh, yeah. And we're going to finish up with just one little peek here. Tell us about this guitar here.
Oh, that's
anything?
actually nothing. I have a case.
Uh-huh.
I have a case. Is it plugged in? It's not even plugged in. But I don't have a guitar case for that. But normally I'll put something that when I'm recording, I'll put it in a case because it's temperature and humidity regulated in there when it's turned on, and it's a nice display case.
Gotcha. Well, Neil, thank you for letting me bust in on you on a Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. Folks, we appreciate you watching and commenting and sharing. Again, last but not least, in a week or so, anybody who shares them, just let us know that you shared as well, and then we'll send a couple of these off.
Yeah.
Neil will, I'm sure, at least
I'll sign, yeah.
He'll sign them as well. So not only will you get the CD, but you'll get the autograph on it as well. And then we'll make sure that we mail these out to you. I'll let those folks know who have won. And guys, thank you. Keep an eye out, because in addition to kind of comparing notes, we're going to be interviewing with a bunch of different creatives, not just musicians, but other artists, painters, sculptors. We're gonna have some fun with this over the next few weeks, and then probably as we kind of maybe gear up into the latter end of September and October, maybe we'll do some special effects as well, just kind of end things up. Guys, thank you for joining us. Neil, thank you for sharing.
As always, my pleasure.
Poppy, thank you for spending half that time on my lap. And you guys have a great week, and we'll talk to you next Tuesday at 7.
See you guys.